Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another car video. This is Road Ramble. Shit, what is it? Oh, Road Ramble number 10. Yeah, I'm gonna follow up what I was talking about in Road Ramble number 9, right? That hangout that this little Carl did with O'Shea, right? Yeah, like something else he said in it, and he talked about standing out in the crowd. I'm gonna tell you what, right? And I said this about what's his name, Jeremy Meeks. Nah, sweetie, you got too much weight on you. Oh, I'm always checking out some women. She's looking this way. Anyway, right? I remember something I said, and this was in relation to Jeremy Meeks, and somebody said, you crazy and all that. Because I said, if me and him in a room with 100 women, right? I told him I said, even with Jeremy Meeks, I would get my fair share. And somebody didn't really understand it because all they were focusing on, this was supposed to be, this guy who's so handsome and all of that, right? Reason why I would is because of knowing who I am, right? See, one of the things people got to do, they got to know what's unique about them. Like, everybody has to have a signature. You got to have something that says you, right? Like, that's one of the reasons, like, a lot of people ask me, what would I do in certain situations, right? And I've even had some people say, hey, I want to be you, Ron. I was like, no, you don't. Most I can do is give you an overall perspective, but every single person has to develop their own style, their own thing that says them, right? Because you can't be me, because one of the things that worked for me, right? Honestly, I look like a thug. I mean, yeah, I see some of the comments. Somebody called me a polished pookie in some detractor. Right? I look like a thug, but then you can talk like one sometimes, but then if I get in certain environments and stuff, I can talk like I'm a PhD. And, well, I ain't gonna get into my educational background, but that actually creates a certain signature for me. So, when a woman deals with me especially, she sees the roughness, the primal shit, and especially the way I walk and look, because people always say I walk like I'm about to kill somebody. I am, but then when I can go deep on them, talk about metaphysics, I can talk about politics if I choose to. I can get deep into religion. Then I could talk about what happened on Insecure. That creates a certain energy to me, because then I become interesting. But that's my signature. Now somebody else trying to do the same thing, they don't have the same thing. One, they don't have the visual. And two, very few people going to have the ability to talk about intelligently about different subjects, right? But see, the thing is, it's the mix of what I'm presenting, right? That's his signature. Like some people, they can probably pull their signature could probably be their physical appearance, like especially if they're what society currently says is the ideal, which is what? Over 6 feet, 6'2", right? Have some money, dress well, right? Like if you dress fly, and that's old school street game right there, just dressing fly, you're gonna draw some attention. And maybe they could get more on that signature if they had the right physical piece, even though they still, would need to have a good conversation. But then the next person, they might not be able to pull on that, right? Like say if a dude is a big dude, like I'm gonna tell you what, I was just talking with for people who follow the reviews I do of the TV show Insecure with Miss Mocha Angel. We were just talking about that the other day, because she was talking about Heavy D, especially when he was on this TV show Living Single, and she said, yeah, he was a big dude, but dude had all these other talents. I've talked about that before in the video I did about big man game. That's how a lot of big men get over, because they are big. I mean, on a physical level, there are women who like what they're called teddy bears, or a dude who can make them feel protected and stuff. But on another level, there's something about that guy who don't have the physical stuff that tugs at a woman. Like if you get some big guy, but that dude got a smooth intellect, or he got a sharp style, or he could dance or something like that, that's that extra charisma and stuff, but that's that signature, and that's what works for him. But yet, if you get maybe another dude who tried with the same thing, he might look over the top. Like, for example, if you get that dude who got that physical thing that people currently think is, like, ideal, and he might be able to dance and do all that stuff. Sometimes a woman might not feel him because, well, two things. They might feel like he's arrogant and got too much going on, so they start looking for the flaws. Or, you know, they might say he's too good to be true or something like that. So that could hurt him, right? But what it comes down to is your individual signature, right? Your individual. What does it say about you? You know, are you going to wear clothes because everybody else is wearing it, or you going to dress different because that's your signature, that's your style? Like, an interesting thing I did in high school. It's ironic. It's ironic, right? People, like, you got dudes wearing like slim jeans, and sometimes like, you know, some dudes wearing like the pants a little high, right? It's funny. I actually did that in high school because I wore expensive ass socks. You know, I was wearing some expensive ass socks, and I was just like, hey, I want everybody to see these expensive ass socks. So I made sure my pants were a little high to see them. But it worked for me. It worked for me because it was my style. It was my style, you know? Because that was me. That was the signature. You know, that's what, you know, if a woman sees you and you out here, right, you gotta have something that catches her eye, because if everybody is wearing the same thing or looking the same way, you're not gonna catch her eye. Like, somebody might say, well, you gotta sag your pants to get a woman, right? Which, honestly, as an aside, I don't know any women who go for it. I think a lot of them just tolerate it. But, you know, you might say that, so everybody walking around with sag pants and stuff, but none of them stand out to the woman. But then you get somebody come in there and they got on some slacks, they got a nice shirt on, some shine shoes, wearing a belt. All of a sudden, it's like, pow, that woman can see that guy. And he stands out, so they want to be like, okay, she drawn to him to try to find out, okay, what's up with this dude. I remember when I went to college, right? I had this woman at finances, I kind of blew some stuff with her though, but she was on me hard, and what she said was, you know, I'm from DC, I'm still dressing like I'm in DC, I'm up in Philly going to school, and she was like, one of the main things she said was, she didn't say I was fine, but she said, you dress different from all these other guys, because, you know, I was a freshman wearing polos, right? And polos honestly, back then, they weren't as ubiquitous. Back then, this was like early 80s. I mean, people knew about it, but it was kind of like Brewberry is now. Everybody ain't gonna be wearing it. And if I gotta tell you what Brewberry is, that's another thing with my signature. Like I said, I can go hood or I can go sophisticated. Yeah, got a business card from somebody from Brewberry. I'll let you. I just don't know. So anyway, right? You know, you gotta like do something. I mean, that's the important thing with style. Have your own style. Have the way you carry yourself. Like, for example, again, as I said, yeah, y'all probably can't see it from here, but I'm looking at my future abodes. They got some nice ass apartments in there. But getting back to what I was saying, everybody gotta have that thing that stands out. So you gotta figure out, okay, what is it about you that women like? And then, you know, and it could be your look, could be your charisma. In fact, there's a book I recommend everybody get. It's called Swoon, and it's by this anthropology professor, and she studied womanizers throughout history, and I mean, she footnoted it with a lot of endnotes, everything. Basically, she wrote the game down. She talked about different things that dudes used to get women. You know, of course, Casanova was mentioned in there, But then you had this other guy, I can't pronounce his first name, he's from the Dominican Republic, named Rubio. This dude was an interesting guy because this dude might have been a political assassin, right? But then he was like the man, though. He was like just a playboy. In fact, I saw someone on the internet calling him the last playboy, but that was his style. And like that's one of the things. Everybody had their style, their signature. So that's an important thing. You want to stand out. You don't want to be like everybody else, right? You know, if everybody else wearing one thing, I'm gonna do something else, or I'm gonna do something else because that's part of the style. And your style ain't just your clothing, really, but it's how you express yourself, your speech intonation, how you walk, right? You know, what's unique, what's going to stand out. So getting back to that thing about if I'm in the same room with Jeremy Meeks, I'm going to get my fair share. I'm going to get my fair share, and it's going to be because of what I have that's unique, right? Because I've seen cases like that where somebody try to bite somebody else's style or something, and it don't work. And even with this dating coach thing, right? Even with the whole dating coach thing, I always tell people, it's like, look, I'm giving you just some basic stuff, but you gotta decide how you're gonna use it, right? You know, just because Rom, might say or do something a certain way, I can get away with it. Because, and I'll give y'all an idea about Rom's basic thing. Basic thing is, I'm the type of person who, if I start talking to a woman, she automatically surprised. Like I said, real talk. A lot of, I've had a lot of men and women say, you look like you're going to rob me at first. Or you look dangerous at first, and then I open my mouth and wisdom come out. Shit like that fascinates a woman because, let me give y'all just a quick bit of game. I usually say this for my Patreon folks. Check it out if you can, or my private folks. But here's a quick bit of game. The lure, like your look, your style, all of that, even if you use money or whatever, even though I said in a previous video you don't really want to use that, whatever it is, all that is the lure. That gets them over there. You still have to talk to them anyway. And you still got to have a uniqueness in how you speaking to a woman instead of like, hey, ma, or you trying to use some lines or something. That's why I never give lines. You got to have a unique in how you talk, even if you quiet. You got to have a signature there. And that's the thing. That's the key right there. That middle part, the conversation. In fact, and I've said this before, one of the biggest issues out here, and maybe that's my Monday video. You know what? I think that's going to be my Monday video, okay? About the conversation. So I'm going to stop this here. All right? Gone on long enough. So anyway, Rom feeling good. You know what, though? It's funny, just as an aside. Because sometimes people talk about, they want to see you doing something. Dude, one of the biggest things is discretion, man. Because I was about to mention something, but I said, hold up. Because now this person know I do videos or something, and they might be checking me out. So, it's discretion. And sometimes people don't want this shit out there. So, we'll see. Anyway, right? That's it for now. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.